Hi, good day everyone. Today I'm going to teach you about the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan, also known as the European Recovery Program, was a US program providing aid to Western Europe following the devastation of World War II. It was enacted in 1948 and provided more than $15 billion to help finance rebuilding efforts on the continent. The brainchild of US Secretary of State George C. Marshall, for whom it was named, it was crafted as a four-year plan to reconstruct cities, industries, and infrastructure heavily damaged during the war, and to remove trade barriers between European neighbors, as well as foster commerce between those countries and the United States. The Marshall Plan also aimed to stop the spread of communism, to help Europe get out of their war debts, and to provide a market of American goods. Implementation of the Marshall Plan has been cited as the beginning of the Cold War between the United States and its European allies and the Soviet Union, which had effectively taken control of much of Central and Eastern Europe and established its satellite republics as communist nations. The Marshall Plan is also considered a key catalyst for the formation of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization (NATO), a military alliance between North American and European countries established in 1949. Harry Truman was the US President at the time of World War II. He supported the Marshall Plan and even his own, the Truman Doctrine. In 1948, President Harry Truman signed the Economic Assistance Act, which authorized the creation of a program that would help the nations of Europe recover and rebuild after the devastation wrought by World War II, commonly known as the Marshall Plan. It aimed to stabilize Europe economically and politically so that European nations would not be tempted by the appeal of communist parties. Truman had many arguments to Congress for the plans to take effect. William Clayton was an American business leader and government official. He had many business career centered on cotton trading. He and his three brothers-in-law formed a partnership that grew into the Anderson, Clayton and Company, at one time the world's largest cotton trading company. Politically aligned with the Democratic Party, he opposed some of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's agricultural policies. He also took on a number of roles in the Roosevelt and Truman administrations. He first served as deputy to the coordinator of Inter-American Affairs. For the 4 years, he held a variety of high-level positions with the Export-Import Bank, the Department of Commerce, and wartime agencies. He served as assistant and then as Deputy Secretary of State for Economic Affairs from December 1944 to October 1947, where he was primarily concerned with working on the Marshall Plan. He strongly supported the United States economic aid to Europe. He played a major role in shaping the Marshall Plan. Joseph Stalin was the General Secretary of the Communist Party of Soviet Union during the World War II. His country was offered Marshall aid, and he refused it. He forbade Eastern Europe countries from having anything to do with it. Stalin saw the plan as a significant threat to the Soviets' control of Eastern Europe. He believed that economic integration with the West would allow these countries to escape Soviet control. He then put an even stronger control of the eastern countries. As you can see in the map, the red areas show the parts of Europe that received the Marshall Plan aid. The larger the red bar, the more aid the city had. The results were both favorable and unfavorable. But let's take a look at in terms of favorable. The world economy was more rapidly placed back into balance. US became the leading superpower and formed strong and lasting alliances with much of Western Europe. US military became the strongest in the world. In terms of unfavorable, the ally was turned to an enemy. Sentiment that US was really looking to subjugate Western Europe in its own way. The end.